Track 5. The Treasure.
Mrs. Damler, the class teacher, gave out the pieces of paper. "This is your homework for the weekend, children." The children groaned. It was Friday, and they didn't usually get homework over the weekend. "Your homework is to follow the map of your neighbourhood and to find the treasure at the places marked with an X on the map." Omer put up his hand. "Are there really treasures hidden in our neighbourhood, Mrs. Damler?" "Of course there are," she said. The final bell rang and everyone ran out of the door. "Yippee! It's Friday!" Omer sat in his bedroom looking at the map. He didn't want to do homework at the weekend, but a treasure hunt sounded like good fun. He looked at the first X marked on the map. It read, Omer's house. He laughed. "So I'm the first treasure. That's funny." He called his mum. "Do you think I'm a treasure, Mum?" "Of course I do," she replied. There was a knock at Omer's door. It was his friend, Azra. "What do you want to do?" she asked. "We could play online or watch a film." "Why don't we do the treasure hunt today instead?" said Omer. "We'll find the treasure before everyone else." "Good idea," said Azra. "Let's go." They went to the park first because there was an X marked on the park on the map. Omer and Azra looked everywhere. They looked on the slide and under the swings. They looked in the sandpit and in the trees too, but they couldn't find any treasure. "Where is the treasure?" said Omer, shaking his head. It was a hot afternoon. "Look, there's Mr. Polat, the ice cream man. He's selling his delicious ice creams. Let's get one. I've got some money." As always, there was a queue of people, but it was worth the wait. "That's $3, please, Omer." "Oh dear," said Omer. "I've only got 2. I'm sorry, Mr. Polat." "Don't worry, take it. It's a very hot day. You can bring me the rest of the money tomorrow." "Thank you, Mr. Polat. You're so kind." The rest of the afternoon, the 2 children spent visiting all the places marked with an X on the map. They went to the library to see the librarian. "Do you have any treasures hidden in your library, Mrs. S?" "Oh, I have lots of treasures, children. This is one of them," she said, holding up a book. "Would you like to read it together in the reading corner? There are some homemade cakes on the table too." On the way home, they met the local police officer, who helped them cross the road. "Have you seen any hidden treasure?" asked Omer. The police officer shook his head and laughed his big, deep laugh that always made the children laugh. Then they asked the gardener, who was planting some beautiful flowers outside the community centre, and after that the vet, who was carefully carrying 2 kittens into his surgery. They shook their heads too. The children arrived home with no treasure, but they had really enjoyed looking for it. On Monday at school, Omer was worried. They had found no treasure. Mrs. Damler came into the classroom and smiled. She pressed a button on her computer and a definition popped up on the whiteboard. Community. All the people living in a particular area or place. "Communities are full of treasures, children," said Mrs. Damler. "Think for a few minutes. What are the real treasures in a community?" Omer thought for a few minutes. He thought about the great afternoon he'd had with Azra, playing in the park. The delicious ice cream from kind Mr. Polat. The great story they read in the library. The police officer's really funny laugh. The people in my community are the treasures, thought Omer. The treasures were there all along.